We saw this viral video, Britt, of you standing up at this event. And I'm like, who is this wonderful woman? I need to know her. Like, I loved everything you said. I was like, you go, girl. I was cheering you on from my, just looking at my phone in my house. And then my team, I'm like, we got to try to book her. So my team looks into it and they're like, oh my God, Carrie Prejean is there too. And of course I remembered your name. I covered the whole thing with, the Miss USA and all that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So then they show me your clip. I'm like, is everyone in this area of California incredibly articulate, gorgeous, fierce, fiery? Like, we've got to have these ladies on. I need to know them more.
We run in good company.
I can see that. Now that I find out you met in the pageant world, some of it is starting to come together, makes sense for me. But I love, love, love that you are now just mom advocates out there fighting the good fight for your children and other people's children and insisting that other people pay attention and try to join the fight too. So let me start with you on this, Britt. When we saw this video, and I'll play a little bit of it so people can see, I want to ask you, what got you so fired? Like, what was the issue before I play the clip? What was the issue that got you so fired up?
Well, we found out that this school district had approved invitations for a Boo Bash. They were advertising it as the queerest Boo Bash family-friendly event in San Diego. And Carrie texts me. She's like, hey, have you seen this? And then I start getting texts from other girlfriends too. Carrie is a pit bull. So she's like, we got to do something about this. This is crazy. And so we start digging into it. And lo and behold, what really fired us up is that this was not only approved by a school district, to be all Encinitas was invited to it as this family-friendly event. But when you actually started to drill down into the Boo Bash and the drag show, the partnerships came to light, and it was incredibly concerning. So that's what fired us up, is we saw that this Boo Bash was partnered and sponsored by a gender reassignment clinic. Which, is there any such thing as gender reassigning? I mean, let's talk science. I hate using that term because you can't reassign gender, but it's sponsored by a mutilation clinic up in San Francisco. And their website is full of videos that are, it's all for profit, but the videos are just advertising that they'll cut off penises and healthy breasts. And even in their top surgery video, they talk about how this is a great way if you're going through puberty and you're not comfortable in your body, then we can just take care of that by cutting off your breasts. And so that was the first one that was shocking. And then the next partnership we saw was I don't even want to promote the club, but it's a gay 21 plus nightclub down in San Diego. And if you go through their social media, I'm shocked that they haven't been taken down because it's just completely pornographic, very evil. So Carrie and I start talking, how in the world is a 21 plus gay nightclub in San Diego hooking up with a gender reassignment clinic up in San Francisco and throwing an event that's marketed to children advertised through a school district? The whole thing it reeks. And so Carrie and I said, we're going to do something about it.
And what age group are we talking about? When we talk about school children, what age group?
Elementary, tiny little kids.
All right, stand by because I'm going to get carried away in too. But let me show the audience a little bit of both of you at this Encinitas board meeting on October 11th.
I just want to know what it is that makes a drag show family friendly. Because if you follow it to its logical conclusion, you can slap family friendly titles on anything. You can have family friendly gentlemen's clubs, family friendly strip shows, family friendly 50 Shades of Grey read-alouds. Will you approve my flyer if I want to host in all the sex secrets of the Kama Sutra for kids and families if it's family friendly? That's my question.
Wow.
What is it about a grown man? And I honestly, sincerely, as a woman, mean this. What is it about a grown man costumed in a sparkly bra with augmented boobs busting out, a leather miniskirt barely covering his twerking ass with tuck tape on his front while spreading his fish-netted legs as he writhes on the ground, grinding his groin next to a minor, family-friendly? You owe us an answer.
I warned you. In fact, I promised you guys that I would campaign against you, I'd fundraise against you, and make sure that none of you ever served in this public space ever again. Yeah. And that's why we're here tonight. You have failed our children. You, in a normal world, would be criminalized for your behavior. And for you to send out this Boo Bash is disgusting that you're promoting this.
Fierce and dead on. So Carrie, the way it was working was, it wasn't like the school was creating the Boo Bash, but they were promoting your children's attendance at it, notwithstanding who was sponsoring it and what was expected to happen there.
Correct. It's so good to see you, Megyn. Thanks so much for having me on. And thank you, Brittany. She is just a fierce patriot, and I'm so thankful for her and our friendship, our 20-year friendship together. It was very unfortunate, Megyn, that I got word of this Boo Bash, and I thought there has to be a mistake. There's no way that a school district here in San Diego, California, would actually be promoting such a inappropriate event for 5-year-olds through 11-year-olds. And so I had to do something about it. And so I sent it out to most of my friends here in the area. And then I said, we need to show up at this board meeting. We need to show up and make our voices loud and clear. So we did a little investigating before we did this board meeting, and we realized that it was from a third-party organization called Peach Jar. And that's how the district gets word of any community events. And so Peach Jar is very specific on, and the school district is very specific on the things that they can approve in order to be sent out to the parents, thousands of parents in the district. And so we found out that they actually violated their own policy. They're very strict. It cannot be lewd, obscene. It cannot be controversial, political. It cannot take, one side without showing the other side. It definitely cannot have alcohol involved. So it's violating its own policies on many different fronts. And so I said, we have to do something about this. And so I wanted to confront the school board and get answers from them. And they were not willing to speak to us. In fact, they didn't even want to apologize for it, unfortunately.
So they didn't respond when you guys got up there and you did your thing. They didn't try to defend themselves.
I said, we want to give you this opportunity. Please respond right now. And none of them would respond. They wanted to shrink back in their seats like cowards like they are and not respond to the parents who they represent.
Who were the parents? You can hear some of the parents like, tisking the information that you were delivering in your your remarks. Were the parents with you? I mean, were some people learning about this for the first time?
You couldn't even walk into that room. You couldn't even walk into the board meeting. I mean, Britt was there. We saw parents come from all over this county. We even had someone come from out of state to protest this. They are outraged. There is a huge movement of mama bears that are protecting our cubs and saying, listen, this is not anti-LGBT. This is anti-sexualization of our kids. We don't want it. We don't want strip clubs with straight white, women. This is not a race thing. We don't want drag shows. Okay. We don't want strip shows. We don't want drag shows. They're trying to paint us as racist, homophobic, the same old typical,
yeah. You want to know what's really interesting is that you asked about the people that were there, and by and large, it was a standing room only overflowing into the parking lot. And the people that came out were so angry about what is happening in our schools and that the target has been drawn so heavily on our kids. And there were a few who showed up to defend the board and the school district. But what's really interesting is that not a single adult who stood up in defense of this Boo Bash and the decision with the district to support this and to invite everyone, not a single adult who stood up in defense mentioned the drag show. They couldn't even defend the drag show. Isn't that interesting? All they could do was go to love, inclusivity, that this is how we create a really caring community. How dare you attack a school board? This is all about being inclusive to diverse students and diverse communities. Not a single one addressed. The whole reason we were there was that you are hypersexualizing our children and you're acting as activist pimps. And not a single adult who stood up in defense could even touch that topic.
You know who doesn't have spooky meats? Good Ranchers. They deliver America's best meat and seafood to you year-round. No costume of labels, no gimmicks, just great meat that shows up right at your door. Their October Feast special just got even better. You can get up to 4 pounds of meat for free. Think about that, 4 pounds. That's a lot. That would cost you a lot in the grocery store. Order any box and get over 2 pounds of their better than organic chicken breasts for free. And if your order is over $300 worth of delicious meat, you will also get 2 pounds of their Wagyu ground beef. thrown in there too. Treat yourself. Head on over to goodranchers.com/Megyn, and that's how you will claim your special October feast of 4 free pounds of meat today. Join the tens of thousands of Americans getting 100% American meat delivered right to their door. Store-bought meat can be tainted with scary bacteria, and it has ghoulish inflated prices to boot. Good Ranchers lets you save $25 on every box and lock in your price when you subscribe. Put an end to your meat buying nightmare by visiting goodranchers.com/Megyn to get over 4 pounds of high quality beef and chicken for free. The real monster is not under your bed. It's actually in your fridge. Take control over your food with an October feast from Good Ranchers. American meat delivered. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.